As he walks in, he sees, well, honestly, I'm getting way more interested in something else right now. She speaks. He looks. Wow, what a dark turn. Just imagine having that power in real life. Imagine being able to set checkpoints just like in a video game. Sounds like an overpowered ability, right? The only catch is, your luck is absolutely garbage. Always. Today I'm bringing you the story of Kiska, a farmer born and raised in Kato village. Now there's an S-rank dungeon in this village, so the place is always packed with people. Since Kiska is a farmer, he makes his living off his crops, until someone decides to completely destroy his entire harvest. Enter the village head's son, Daka, who shows up just to mock him. "Oh, I heard you couldn't harvest anything this year," he says. Kiska wants to snap back. "Yeah, because you ruined my field." But since Daka is the village head's son, Kiska has to keep his mouth shut. Wow. Local politics are wild everywhere. Kiska's voice is just being suppressed out here. Kiska goes on to explain that in his country, people with silver hair get bullied by default. And unluckily for our boy, he has silver hair. So, Daka and his gang just gang up on Kiska and beat him to a pulp for absolutely no reason. And bro doesn't have any other choice, he just has to endure it. While walking home looking completely wrecked, Kiska runs into a girl named Namiya. She patches him up, and we find out she's Kiska's childhood friend, and literally the only person in the entire village who is close to him. Like Kiska said, everyone bullies people with silver hair, but Namiya actually likes his hair. Kiska is thinking, she accepts me no matter what. I guess my guy finally found his Valentine. Then Namiya drops a bomb. I am going to marry Daka. Well, I guess bro lost his Valentine. That was quick. Hearing this hurts Kiska, but what can he do? He just accepts it and congratulates her. Namiya is visibly shocked because she definitely wasn't expecting that kind of response. She asks him, "Are you okay with this? Do you really want to spend your whole life in this village? Everyone just bullies you here, and you're going to end up getting killed." Kiska sighs. "What else can I do? I have nowhere else to go." And then Namiya says, "Kiska, let's run away together." Well, you guys might be watching this on Valentine's Day. I'm recording this at 5 a.m., but Kiska definitely secured his Valentine. Happy for our homie. Namiya says she has some savings, and they can just run off and start earning somewhere else. Great plan. They both agree. It's a very beautiful scene. That night, Kiska packs his bags and heads toward Namiya's house, thinking, this is the last day. After tonight, all my suffering ends. But as he gets close to her house, he hears a scream. "Stop it! Stop it!" He kicks the door open and sees Daka and his gang assaulting Namiya. Man, why can't we just get a happy ending? Seeing the girl he loves like this, Kiska naturally snaps. He runs in raging and actually lands a solid punch on Daka, but then he gets absolutely destroyed. They beat him mercilessly and start torturing him. Daka literally rips off 2 of Kiska's fingernails, and his goons are about to rip off more. Namiya begs Daka to stop and promises to tell the truth if they just leave Kiska alone. Kiska tries to stop her, but she spills everything, admitting that they were planning to run away together. Hearing this makes Daka completely lose his mind. In a fit of pure rage, he strangles Namiya to death right in front of Kiska. This guy couldn't even get 2 seconds of happiness. A girl finally tells him, "I love you." They kiss, and the same day, she gets murdered. Today was a terrible day, but tomorrow is going to be even worse. Daka and his goons frame Kiska for Namiya's murder and beat him up again. As his punishment, they teleport Kiska straight into the S-rank dungeon, a place that is basically impossible to escape from and has never been cleared by anyone. Kiska starts exploring, and immediately, an A-rank monster pulls up. Bro, that dude is on steroids. No hi, no hello, the ape just starts throwing hands. Kiska has been beaten up so much in his life that he kinda knows how to dodge, but still, he's fighting a literal beast. He's about to die when a mysterious figure suddenly appears. She says, "I'll grant you one skill," and that skill is save and reset. As soon as she gives him the skill, she vanishes, and the beast turns Kiska into a donut with one punch. Bro is dead. Suddenly, Kiska opens his eyes. He touches his body. He's alive. He thinks, wait, didn't I just die? How am I back? He looks behind him, and the beast is standing right there. It punches him again. He dies again. So yeah, bro is dead again. A few seconds later, bro is alive again. Another punch. Dead again. You guys get the concept here. The save and reset skill activated. His game saved right before he died, and now every time he dies, he respawns at that exact checkpoint. At first, Kiska loses all hope and just lets himself die. But then he remembers Namiya. and decides he's going to survive and take revenge on the entire village. So, Kiska fights back. Obviously, he still can't do any damage, so he dies again. By now, he's died over 100 times, but he has completely memorized every single move the beast makes. It's giving major ReZero vibes. Kiska dodges all the attacks and finally lands a punch, but his weak-ass punch does 0 damage. Kiska realizes, my attacks are useless, but at least I can run away. He makes a run for it. The beast chases him, and while discovering a new area, Kiska steps on a trap. Bro dies again. He's died around 200 times now. He respawns, runs back to the trap, and this time he triggers it intentionally and jumps in. His plan was to land safely, and boom, he spots a hidden room. He enters the room and finds a treasure chest containing a crystal of wisdom. With this, he can acquire any S, A, B, C, or D rank skill. Kiska rubs his 2 remaining brain cells together and decides to pick the S-rank stealth skill. But the second he acquires it, a massive swarm of beasts spawns inside the room. Bro is about to get completely jumped. He barely survives a few milliseconds before getting wiped out. Now, here's the problem. Since he died inside the treasure room, he doesn't respawn there. He respawns all the way back at the beginning of the dungeon because he has no idea how or where his game actually saves. So now, he has to do the entire run all over again. Kiska fights his way back to the room, picks the stealth skill again, and dies. He grinds his way back again, and this time he picks the acceleration skill. This actually helps. His speed increases, and Bro starts throwing punches. But are his punches strong? No. He punches an enemy, shatters his own hand, gets ganged up on, and wakes up back at the starting line. He's died 225 times now. He goes back, picks acceleration again, and dies. Some people learn from their mistakes. Some people learn from other people's mistakes. This guy, he just doesn't learn. After dying 300 times, it finally clicks. S-rank skills are useless for him right now. He repeats the whole cycle, enters the room, and this time he chooses the Taijutsu skill. With this, he finally manages to defeat a single beast. Doing so levels up his physical strengthening to level 2. To level it up again, he needs 100 SP. One beast gives him 12 SP, which means he has to kill all of them to level up, which he currently can't do. So, he dies again. Look, Kiska can respawn, but the catch is that he still feels the agonizing pain every single time he dies. He has died around 510 times by now. 510 times getting brutally beaten by the same beasts. He's stuck in the room, gets frustrated, starts cursing himself, and accidentally acquires the provoke skill. The beasts spawn. He uses the skill to mock one of them. The beast charges at him in a blind rage, but ends up hitting a trap. Kiska provokes another one, dodges at the last second, and the beast ends up attacking its own teammate. By spamming the provoke skill, Kiska tricks them into fighting each other and clears the entire room. He walks out, and suddenly, a headless, flaming horse starts chasing him. Bro, this is literally Pokemon. Dodging the flaming horse, Kiska arrives at a new area. Now things get interesting. He finds a room with 3 magical teleportation circles. He chooses the middle one. He teleports and sees a girl, the exact same girl who gave him the save and reset skill at the beginning. As soon as Kiska touches her magical vessel, it breaks, and she wakes up. She introduces herself as Tsubaki, an ex-hero who was sealed here just so she wouldn't turn evil. Kiska introduces himself, and Tsubaki says, "Duck." He ducks, and she immediately slices the headless flaming horse right in half. Wow, what a greeting. Nobody's ever greeted me like that. Tsubaki tells him this is just her way of saying, "Thanks. I wish I could do something like that for someone." Tsubaki agrees to help Kiska escape the dungeon. Next up, they run into a mini-boss. Come on, this is just another Pokemon. Obviously, Kiska is no match for this dude, but Tsubaki handles it like a boss. Kiska watches her and thinks she can easily solo this guy, but she trips on a small rock and loses her balance. The Pokemon punches her out. Honestly, I think Kiska has a hidden passive ability called Bad Luck Aura. Trying to save her, Kiska uses his Provoke skill. The mini-boss swings at him, and it looks like Kiska is going to die, but he actually dodges it. The beast punched the wall so hard, its hand gets stuck. Taking advantage of the opening, Tsubaki hits it with a straight-up Demon Slayer breathing technique and slices the boss in half. Nice! Smash the Valentine's Day trap. With the mini-boss dead, things are finally looking up for our boy. Or so we thought. They find a secret passage that leads to a fully furnished, cozy room. It definitely doesn't look like a monster's lair. Whoever lives there isn't home, so they decide to crash for the night. Now, what do a boy and a girl do in a closed room on Valentine's Day? You tell me. They talk, bro. What were you thinking? Kiska asks Tsubaki, "Am I weird because of my silver hair?" Tsubaki smiles. "No, I actually think it looks great." Kiska feels amazing. He finally found another person who doesn't judge him for his hair. They get a little close, but suddenly Kiska's stomach growls. Tsubaki decides to cook. Bro literally found absolute wife material right here. She can fight and she can cook. The food is so good, Kiska literally cries because he's never had a decent meal in his life. After dinner, Kiska plays the gentleman. "We only have one bed, so you take it. I'll sleep on the couch." But Tsubaki says, "No worries, we can share the bed." Where do you even find girls like this? Oh, right, he's the main character. As they lie in bed, Kiska is plotting how he's going to use Tsubaki to escape the dungeon, but Tsubaki has completely different plans. She starts giving him mouth-to-mouth oxygen. Then she grabs his hand, puts it on her chest, and says, "Can you feel my heartbeat?" Bro, I took basic biology. The heart is on the left side. What are you doing? Then she starts whispering, "I love you, I love you, I love you." Typical yandere behavior. Just imagine I pick you up and drop you in Kiska's situation right now. What are you going to do? Whatever you do, I bet you won't do what this idiot does next. Tsubaki tells him, "You saved me. I was sealed here for so long. Every time someone showed up, I'd give them a skill hoping they'd free me, but they all failed. But you saved me." She calls him her prince. Look at our weak-ass prince, man. Tsubaki doesn't just stop at, "I love you." She literally starts taking her clothes off. But Kiska stops her. I don't know what his problem is. Kiska wants to stay loyal. He tells her, "I'm sorry. I love someone else who passed away." Tsubaki doesn't even flinch. "Oh, no problem. I can just be your second wife." Walking green flag right there. But then Tsubaki gets a little too forceful, and that forcefulness triggers Kiska's PTSD from his bullies. Out of pure panic, he violently pushes her away. He immediately realizes he messed up, apologizes to her, and goes to sleep, thinking, "Man, I was way too rude. I'll just apologize properly in the morning." When he wakes up the next morning, wow, what a dark turn. Just because Kiska rejected her, Tsubaki killed herself. Kiska blames himself completely. He runs out of the room in a panic and gets completely wrecked by the flaming horse again. He respawns back in the treasure room. Since the beasts are already cleared, he runs straight back to the teleportation circles, takes the middle one, and runs up to Tsubaki's vessel. He wakes her up again, but this time, her energy is completely off. She speaks to him incredibly rudely. Kiska is confused. "You are Tsubaki, right?" Well, she is Tsubaki, but not the good Tsubaki. This is a different version of her, and she is here to punish Kiska because he broke good Tsubaki's heart. Before he can even react, bad Tsubaki snaps his neck. That's it. Bro is dead again. He respawns, gets back to the circles, and decides, "Yeah, I am not taking the middle circle again." This time, he takes the left circle. He teleports and lands right in front of an absolute 10 out of 10 baddie drinking tea. Smash. She looks at him. "Oh, an intruder. That's rare." Kiska is looking around like, who the hell is chilling with tea and snacks in a deadly S-rank dungeon? He asks her, "Do you know the way out of here?" She smirks. "Well, that depends on your attitude." Now, Kiska has a bit of an ego because he's frustrated. He talks back to her rudely. She responds, "No one talks to me with that kind of attitude," and instantly deletes him from existence. "Bro, just kill me instead, please." He respawns and realizes this entire dungeon is just filled with horrible people. By the way, that tea-drinking girl? Her name is Judith, and she is the true ancestor of vampires. Okay, so middle is death, left is death. Time to take the right circle. He teleports and finds a weird-looking sword. He tries to pick it up, gets a massive shock, and passes out. When he wakes up, the sword has literally fused with his right arm. Kiska walks out, and an A-rank werewolf jumps him. Kiska thinks he's done for, but the sword takes over his body, controls his arm, and slaughters the werewolf on its own. Kiska realizes the sword has a mind of its own, and he might actually be able to clear the dungeon with it. He kills a few more werewolves and decides to challenge the mini-boss himself. He fights the mini-boss, a different Pokemon this time, and actually wins thanks to the sword. Defeating the boss opens a secret chamber. He walks in, and we can see the sword is slowly creeping up his arm, taking over more of his body. Suddenly, Judith, the 10 out of 10 vampire baddie, shows up again. Why is she here? What did our boy Kiska do to deserve this? Everyone is just out to get him. Judith explains that the weapon he has is a parasitic sword. It feeds on monsters to grow stronger, but eventually it eats its host completely. To prevent the sword from becoming a massive headache later, Judith is here to kill Kiska, because if the host dies, the sword is useless. Judith didn't need a weapon to kill him before, but now that he has an overpowered sword, she needs one. So, she literally rips off her own left arm, regrows a new one instantly, and turns her severed arm into a blood sword. That is undeniably cool. They clash. After a bit of fighting, Judith realizes this is going to take too much effort, and she's too lazy for that. So she just tosses her sword into the air, it detonates into a million piercing shards, and completely shreds Kiska to pieces. He respawns. Now he is severely depressed. What am I supposed to do? If I go middle, Tsubaki kills me. If I go left, Judith kills me. If I go right and take the sword, Judith still tracks me down and kills me. During their fight, Judith mentioned that the sword grows stronger by eating monsters. So, Kiska comes up with a plan. He takes the right circle, grabs the sword, and goes on an absolute grinding spree. He lets the sword eat tons of monsters until it's super-powered. The sword has basically taken over his entire upper body by now. He tracks down Judith to fight her again, and still gets completely folded. Look at her evil smile. Just kill me, please. He respawns again. He's completely out of options. But then, an absolutely crazy idea hits him. This is super risky, but it might just work. Kiska heads straight for the left circle. He's going directly to Judith. Honestly, I would go to her too. Now, remember, Kiska has met Judith multiple times, but because he keeps resetting, Judith has absolutely no memory of him. She thinks this is their first meeting. Kiska remembers that the first time they met, he acted rude, and she killed him. So this time, Kiska walks up to her and treats her with the utmost respect. He greets the great true ancestor of vampires like absolute royalty. She is clearly impressed and happy. Then, Kiska drops the ultimate request. I have a favor to ask. Please take care of me. Make me your student. Nobody saw that coming. The guy just asked the woman who brutally murdered him over and over again to be his sensei. Will Judith actually train him? What happens next in the story? How much more suffering does Kiska have to go through? Spoiler, a lot. You'll find out all of that in part 2. If you want to read the manga yourself, the name and link are in the description.